What's going on, guys? Welcome to another post-match fan show. Spurs are into the semi-finals after beating West Ham 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm joined by Brains McLeod, who's going to be taking calls from fans. Before we get into that, the draw for the semi-final has been made, and Tottenham will be taking on Chelsea in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, which is currently set to be 2 legs, but could be reduced to 1 leg if restrictions are to be expanded. Brains, what's your instant reaction to what is a very, very tough draw? Obviously, Arsenal go on to play Liverpool in the other semi-final. Liverpool just edging past Leicester in a penalty shootout. But Chelsea, wow, what a tough 2-legged tie that's going to be.
Way to shit on our parade.
Just getting West Ham. Who got Chelsea?
After a decent win, God, I was praying for Arsenal. That would have been sick. But, faith in Conte. By then, hopefully after January, hopefully, a million amazing things happen, and we have confidence, and we'll still be on this unbeaten run that we're on now. So
you certain of that?
I'm absolutely certain. I've had 6 beers, so I'm absolutely certain of it. Yeah, but it was a great night, and the draw.
Yeah, with Chelsea, they're not having the best time of it at the moment. Could that help? But by the time we play them, maybe they could have the likes of Lukaku and Werner back in play. But given their form right now, they're probably the most out-formed team out of all the semi-finalists. So is that a positive, or is that, or you don't even think about that?
I mean, no, it's a bit of time before that game, so likelihood is they're going to get back on their pump, but hopefully it continues. I mean, we've seen that they've got flaws. They're not, they're not a perfect setup. They've got a great manager. They've got great depth in their team, but still they've dropped points and they've not looked, otherworldly recently. So any given night, especially at Conte at the helm, driving the ship forward, then, there's a chance.
Two teams who like to play 3 at the back as well, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, if we settle on the right way to play them, I fully believe Conte can come up with something sharp to do a number on them. And hopefully by that point, we've got to run a nice, good games, winnable games. And our games in hand are winnable games. So it's a case of you get on a great run. Who knows where we sit? Who knows if we're, coming up right behind them, if we're on their ass in the run for the top 4. So, just positive thinking. A lot of good things are happening right now. Hopefully good things happen in the January window. And, Conte gets a bit of time with his players. We get rid of some of the mistakes, some of the negatives that are happening. You never know what happens. We've beaten them before in this competition, so we can do it again.
All right, positivity. I mean, it's going to be such a tough game against a side Tuchel that he's really got them playing. But they have been stumbling of late, so maybe that's something we can exploit with Spurs going well under Conte, and that's continued tonight. A 2-1 win against West Ham, and of what was, got to say, would you call it a professional or battling display in that second half? Making sure that we protected that lead that we had gained in the first half.
Yeah, ballsy. That's what you wanted. You wanted players to come on and go steady the ship. Thought that was really important for Winks to come on, and then he made some really strong decisions. You kind of feel a little bit confident when you got someone at the helm. Remember when we had Nuno? He's just standing there 60, 70 minutes, looking around, am I supposed to do something here? Where's the reading cards? And he wouldn't do anything. And then so I think now you got someone like Conte. Seems that he kind of knows what he's doing. So it was a good performance tonight. I'm happy with the game.
All right, so without further ado, let's start getting callers on. And first up, as always, is my grandpa. Hi, Grandpa. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And
How are you doing?
See you.
You can't see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Oh, you can see me. Fantastic.
Yeah, I can see Brains as well. And I can see Brian down the bottom of my screen.
You're giving away our secrets, Grandpa. Look, we're into the semi-finals today. How happy are you about the victory?
Oh, I'm absolutely delighted. It's another Conte gift. I mean, the game management in the second half was outstanding. Mm-hmm. They were hardly allowed to get into our half. It was incredible play. The changes he made really helped us to defend. And we never tired. It was just fantastic. And another thing that he's done is Bergwijn really hasn't done anything since he came to us this game, he was in the first half. He was definitely the man of the match.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, I thought.
Yeah.
But the man of the match, truly, for the whole of the game, has to be Lloris. He was just outstanding. I noted 5 saves that he made, which were brilliant. Just not an ordinary save where the ball goes straight to him. The tipping over the bar of those 2 goals was just, those 2 shots were just fantastic. Man of the match by a long way if you talk about the whole of the match.
And you know, you mentioned Bergwijn having a great game today. That obviously follows the trend of Winks and Dele having great games on Sunday. So he really is starting to get these fringe players on side, isn't he? And he's starting to get a tune out of them, and it's starting to be a pattern, isn't it?
Yeah, I would include Davies in that, because I think he's also brought Davies to the play. I mean, these are players that we were talking about that should go, and they both of them have really played brilliantly against a weakened side. That's my only fear. You know, West Ham were without you know, the centre forward, and you know, and maybe they would have beaten Lloris, but they played well up front, and we played well in defence.
What parts do you think of that performance?
Really kept the ball up in the front.
Where do you think we had what were the negatives? Do you think in that performance? Do you think there was much like kind of that held the team back? Like where if you had to say like was one or two kind of areas that were like a bit lacking?
I think on the right side, I think we weren't as strong as we were against Liverpool, and Tandanga came on towards the end. I don't think he really showed much. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of negative because it was an all-round good game. I thought Sanchez had a good game. I thought, as I always do, is Holbeer really holds the whole centre together.
Yeah.
And you know, Holbeer and it's again Winks also. So no real strong negatives. There's, you know, and what's exciting is he's building 2 teams, which is going to be so important going forward, that we've got somebody to take over from if somebody gets injured or they get tired playing too much football.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with all these other players coming in and playing well, you know, who he picks. Because as you say, Højbjerg is so vital. But then you've got Winks playing well at the moment. Skip as well, who had another good game today. He's vital. You've got Dele coming in and putting in performances. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to give him some good problems, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think Dele did particularly well when he came on.
Yeah, he was a bit quiet, wasn't he?
Yeah, he came on for 10 minutes, didn't he?
I wouldn't put him in. But
he played well last game, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, there was no Romero. You know,
would you have liked to seen like Giovanni Lo Celso come on maybe instead of Dele or
yeah, I'd like to see him. I don't know why he didn't come in. I don't know if he's one of those that was ill.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, we've got three good players that were on the bench, and so we're building up a second team, which is really important. And I mean, there's 2 reasons why he took. I think why he took Mora off, because Mora was playing really well, was so that he stays fit.
Yeah,
and I think
that's what Conte said.
Why he didn't play Son in the beginning, because if they play half a match, then they play a half a match when they play in the next game, then they're going to stay fit. Yeah, and I think he's playing that game as well. He's very clever, Conte. You can't. We must constantly misjudging him. We're constantly saying this is a bad lineup. Why wasn't Son playing to start with? And you know, when you hear the other commentators all finding the negatives, and he comes up with stuff which we hadn't thought of, and he does something with the players which we hadn't thought of, and I think that's the sign of a great manager and somebody that's going to take us places.
It's got a lot to do with the fact that Conte sees what he sees in training, and he sees how they work and their passion and actually their quality, because some players really perform in training and then they can't with other managers, sometimes they can't put it on the field, and so he sees that as his job to get them to put that on the field. So we see it from more the fact of the past. That's how we judge players. Like, they haven't done this in the past and this in the past, but he can't live like that. He's got to go with the now and the future.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. He's looking forward all the time, and is a taskmaster.
Yeah.
So that's right. How we do against Chelsea, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I was about to say, Chelsea. What do you think of that draw finally?
Well,
do you think we can get to the final?
The way we're playing, I'm sure we can. With a good team, Chelsea themselves aren't having such a good time, and it's a bit like Liverpool. They've been a little bit off the boil, but we still beat them. We didn't. We drew, but
we should have beaten them.
I still think we beat them. And West Ham are sitting fourth at the moment. We beat them. So I think we've got a very, very good chance. I think and it's Conte that will make it.
It's getting another game under your belt. It's another win. It's another more momentum. Like, keep moving in the right direction. Doesn't matter if it's a close game or not. You keep moving in the right direction.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. It'll be a close game against Chelsea. That's for certain.
Yeah.
All right, Grandpa. Good to see you.
Yeah, great.
Always a pleasure.
Onwards and upwards. Come on, you
Onwards and upwards, Grandpa. Exactly. Forever positive.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Sleep
Cheers.
well, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
All right, that was my grandpa, who's very positive as always.
There.
Always great to have him on. Who have we got next to talk about? We've got Ben Davies FC. Let's bring him on. And the Ben Davies Penitentiary is growing larger and larger week by week. Ariane, good to see you, my friend.
Game by game. Oh, it's amazing. I didn't get to go to the bar or anything today, so I was actually watching the watch along with you guys. And it was a little bit more exciting that way. It was just I was like completely with the vibe of you guys when in the last 20 minutes.
But Claim Central,
was
wasn't it?
shitting their pants. Oh my god. Right before Ben Rama almost equalized, when it just went a little bit wide, the second they even got the ball, I was like, I know something bad's gonna happen, and thank God we didn't concede. But let's forget the negatives. We're in a semi-final. We're in a semi-final, and we can win a trophy under Conte.
Aaron, you're a little quiet. Is there a way you could boost your microphone volume? Is that possible?
Is this
That's better.
Go.
That's
Turn
better.
it up.
Okay.
I think that's better.
Wonderful.
Yeah, look. So it was an interesting game today because we first half we created quite a few chances. Lucas and Bergwijn both getting on the score sheet, despite the fact that we conceded through Bowen. And then second half it was very much kind of like a managing the game kind of half, wasn't it? How do you assess how the game went?
Look, it was like played out right to the like we did exactly enough to win. And it was perfect. Like we made as few. I feel like we got the result we wanted, and we made as few risks as possible in terms of player management and stuff like that. In terms of who's going to get injured or anything, we were able to manage Son, Reguilon, Lucas. These players that are key to Emerson as well. These players that they've come back from COVID or injuries with Reguilon, for example, and we need to manage them, and we've done just enough. I think in the pre-match pump-up, David said he asked me, "Oh, you're not worried about injuries, considering it's West Ham. There might be a lot of harsh tackles, and some of our players have come back." I said, "You know what? Don't even worry about it because Antonio Conte, he's like Doctor Strange in Infinity War, man. He looked into the future, and he found exactly what we needed to do to get exactly the result we wanted with the minimal risk, and I loved it. It was played out to a T. I think the performance was exactly just enough to win, and it shows.
Yeah, and Bergwijn getting a goal and assist today, and what was a very big day for him, considering there's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, with Ajax and January and moving, and whether he gets on with Conte and all this kind of stuff. There's been a lot of rumours, and it was a big day for him to start the game. And he even though he went off after an hour, he had a really great performance, didn't he?
Yeah, I was surprised he actually went off because did he have COVID? Did he have like any major issues? I don't
He just
know.
went. I think he went off with Lucas because I think he wanted to change the formation.
Yeah.
That's what was the main thing. And also, he didn't have COVID, no, but Conte did say after his in his press conference that in the second half we tried to manage the COVID situation. That's what he went on to say. So maybe that goes into his thinking in some of the changes.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, though, I mean, I think first of all, it's between Lloris and Bergman for man of the match, which is why I was surprised as why he took him off. Because like I think he would have done a fine job up top with Kane in a 3-5-2. I don't see the reasoning that you have.
What do you think of this, Ariane? Like that ball that he puts to Son in current form. Do you not think Bergwijn probably would have taken a better touch and finished that?
That's what I'm saying. Son's touch was unreal. Like it was horrible today. It was.
Yeah.
He couldn't get a first touch. Did he even have a single good first touch? I don't remember like a single good first touch from him. Even one. He had a bunch of moments.
Ariane, how pissed off were you that he didn't go
when
the
he did give it to
reverse
Davies?
pass
Oh my
to
god,
Davies?
I was. I was screaming. I was so mad. I was like, and look, you know what? Everyone can clown on me for this. Davies has a good shot on him. Remember, like even a couple. Okay, I mean, I think last season he scored against Stoke or whatever. But he's had a bunch of moments where he's almost scored. He's gone off the crossbar. He has a good shot on him. There's no reason Davies can't finish that. And you know, worst case scenario, you give it to Davis, and he scores it to Son.
Yeah,
it made way more sense to give it to Davis there, especially with Son on horrible form right now as well. Like
Yeah,
I don't get it. It's I was so pissed off, man. Put Davis on the score sheet or on the get him an assist. It was right there. I was this close to greatness, man.
When Ben Davies finally scored.
Oh man, it's going to be scenes. You need to do a live reaction of that.
Squirting everywhere.
Yeah.
He's got like a cum machine gun. Davies score. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Don't act like it's not.
He's ready and waiting.
And he's gonna be at the bar when it happens as well.
It's gonna go in off the bar. Were you worried a bit? You know how many chances they did have in the first half. Anyway, Souček was getting all sorts of encouragement at the back post. Lloris really had to be at his best to keep the score to keep us ahead, didn't he, in the first half?
Well, yeah, I mean, and then they scored in like 2 minutes afterwards. That little period, we responded very poorly to get it going in the lead. At least the first time. Second time when we went into the lead, we actually responded pretty well. I think we held control of the game. But the first time, that little 5-10 minute spurt where they were able to hit back at us like very strongly. Like Souček had like 2 headers, and there was one that went wide. And then eventually Bowen, he does well. But what is Dyer doing there? What was that?
Yeah,
that was classic. That was classic 1920 Dyer making some stupid mistake after being wonderful the whole game. That was classic Eric Dyer.
It was coming,
now,
wasn't
hopefully, and it was overdue. How many games has he gone without doing that? But Conte's, and you can't expect a player to go from 0 to 100 and so quickly. That's gonna happen eventually. I don't want to say, oh, now drop him. He's still shit, because look, he hasn't done that in like a bunch of games in a row now.
No, he's had a great
I don't
run.
want to get on his back. Everyone.
But when you look at the camera angle,
that happens.
When you look at the camera angle from behind him, and it shows you exactly the options he had, Kane has a guy crawling over him, and there's no other player around. It's like, you're going to pass a ball through the channel? That is...
He got too comfortable. He got way too comfortable.
Yeah, and he just kind of had a bit of a speed wobble in his mind.
He was just like,
Yeah.
Right. It was a very poor decision. But, besides that, and the good thing about that is the only time they can score is when we give it to them on a platter. Yeah. They had how many chances that they created that they were good chances. They created a lot of very good attacking opportunities, and we shut them right out. Yes, Lloris had to bail us out a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But that's the goalkeeper's job. That's what he's there for. Exactly. Yep. So we were able to shut them out, especially in the last 5-10 minutes when they were really peppering us left, right, and center. We shut them out completely. And, even though we were, a little bit up and down, we still looked comfortable. And that was massive. So, and we've done that with Doherty at the back. Tanganga had to come in as well. Tanganga came in, Doherty came in, and even with them, they looked a little bit unstable. We were still able to hold strong. Ben Davies made a bunch. I'm going to say in the center, I think Davis was probably the best of our center backs today.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say
And
that.
You know what?
Ariane,
I
think you guys
actually
can agree with
wouldn't.
me.
I wouldn't really disagree with that. I thought he was coming across the cover. I don't think it was his fault when Bowen got over the back and through. I thought that was Dyer sleeping. I thought he did cover really well. I didn't think he put any. He maybe gave one foul away but he was going in. You know, he was playing with passion. I actually thought he had a pretty flawless game.
and Ariane, Chelsea in the semis.
Look, it better be over 2 legs because we did get drawn away in the first leg. So if it ends up going 1 leg, we're going to have to play at Stamford Bridge. So that's going to be tricky. But you know what? Bring it on. Antonio Conte, man. I'm not fearing anything. If Conte believes there's a way, there's a way. There is a way. It's plain and simple. If Conte thinks we can do it, we can do it. So when we're going, even if it is Stamford Bridge, even if it is, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, whatever it is, bring it on. Because look, we've put out a pretty decent performance there with a lot of our players sidelined. By the time we play Chelsea, I don't know. It just kind of depends. Maybe Romero's going to be back. We're potentially maybe going to have a couple signings. Son might be back on form, or some other players might be back on form. Reguilon could be flying up and down. Maybe he's recovered from his injury. Emerson might find his feet. Like, there's so many things that can happen from now to January. And especially, Chelsea are off form right now. So hopefully, if they can keep that up, there's definitely a bunch of ways that this can go in our favor. This is definitely not, oh shit, we got Chelsea. Forget it, because we beat them last year in the same competition, and we had to field a B team. Does anybody remember that? We had so many.
We had
Lamella
played on
up
Thursday.
top, and right. So we had so many players off, and I think Dyer put in a man of the match performance that time too, even though he went to the shitter. So, I mean, it was whatever. If we can beat them while our center back goes to take a shit, then why can't we beat them when everyone's on form and playing this way? Why not? Like, why not?
True.
All right, Ariane.
It was Reguilon's first game as well, and he played a wonder game.
He did. I remember. It was his debut. Good to speak to you as always, mate. Nice to see you smiling and happy, and always on that Ben Davies train. Gotta love it.
Yes,
and we'll speak to you very soon.
We look forward to Ben Davies scoring and you
Very,
doing crazy shit.
You'll be the first person we speak to, Ariane.
I'm excited. Oh, of course. All right. All right. I'll see you guys.
Nice one, mate. Conte's actually been speaking about Bergwijn after the game, singing his praises, and he said that if it wasn't for the games being cancelled, Bergwijn would have played against both Leicester and Brighton. And he said now Steven is a player who's totally involved in what I want and what I'm asking for from players. Don't forget, I like to have a plan and give options to my players. So he's talking up Bergwijn there, and he said Lucas Moura is one of the best players in our squad.
Wow.
That's what he's saying about Lucas Moura. So he's giving a lot of high praise to a lot of people. Talking about high praise, let's bring on Brian Daigle. He's drinking a bottle of water. Hey, Brian, you all right?
I'm good. So just need to say one thing, because there's a couple of West Ham fans that are trying to be all smart and clever in the chat. So I just want to say 2-1. In your cup final, 2-1. In your cup final, 2-1. In your cup final, 2-1. In your cup final. So there we go, boys. That's for all those West Ham pikeys that want to come in and troll.
Oh, God.
So now, back onto the game.
Yeah, talk to me. Like, we had, like, in the first half, we created quite a few chances. Bergwijn was kind of terrorising them a bit in the first half, and him and Lucas both getting on the score sheet, although West Ham also had, Lloris had to keep us ahead, didn't he? But second half, we kind of managed the game and saw it out. What was your take on it?
So first of all, welcome Stephen Bergwijn. What a goddamn performance.
Yeah.
What an absolutely outstanding performance. And by Lucas, some of the passes he was trying at Hugo Lloris was sensational. I mean, Dyer's taken a lot of stick for that goal for that pass. But again, as I've said before, whenever Hugo Lloris does those short kicks, it always gives me a heart attack. His distribution is shocking. Look, we didn't drop our heads again. There's a real still and determination behind us. And I think everyone again had a great game. Davies and Sanchez, again, as I've been saying, was brilliant. So it's all good. And now let's just batter Chelsea.
Do you reckon you give us a good chance against Chelsea, Brian?
Oh, mate, like you were saying before at the beginning, if you look at it, Chelsea are the most out-of-form team out of the four of us. currently. So let's hope so. With the Conte effect, and I saw when the draws when the semi-final, both the legs. I'm still here in the UK, so I'm going to try and get a ticket with you boys for the home leg.
All right, carnage will ensue. I'm looking forward to it.
Most definitely. You know me too well, Simeon. You know me too well. I have to say, Skip and Højbjerg again. You see what Højbjerg was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
most of them were. But
where does this anti-Højbjerg shiz come from? Like,
It's because sometimes he can be a bit loose and raw with his passing when he tries to pass it quickly, and he looks a bit, he can look a bit clumsy. But actually, like in general, he's very, very effective, and especially at breaking up play.
not to call out the stats, but there's that he, ratings-wise for the season so far, only Reguilon has bigger ratings in a game. Like,
What interceptions?
no, just as in like consistent stats, consistently the highest performance, like the player ratings.
Oh, it
what's it,
depends.
match
Depends.
score or
Yeah,
something?
depends who you're going by. I think
he's-
Stelios just had a vein pop up.
I said it just to cause Stelios a heart attack. The ratings all say Højbjerg's fantastic, so that's what I'm going by.
Or make sure he's still living.
Just check up on him, yeah.
Through to him on his Palmer's Green broadband.
Brian, talk to me about Conte in terms of what he's doing with these players who a lot of people wanted to get rid of. So Bergwijn today against Liverpool, it was Dele and Winks. He seems to be really getting a tune out of these players who a lot of the fan base wanted gone,
Including me.
It's what elite managers do. I mean, everyone knows my feelings towards Dele. I was still at him. He's still got a lot to prove. But what you saw in Winks and that performance from Bergwijn, I don't think any one of us saw. He was literally everywhere during that game. He was absolutely sensational. He is getting a tune out of all of them. I mean, Doherty didn't even look too bad. All right, he wasn't brilliant, but he wasn't a car crash or anything. Every single player.
I love that.
That's like a positive for Doherty. He wasn't a car crash.
He's really getting a tune out of everyone, and Doherty wasn't bad. He wasn't a car crash. That's the best compliment you've got.
Well, listen, if you can take a player that's been a constant car crash and make him not one, that's an improvement. You can't take it as a positive. Listen.
Can you imagine Conte being in the changing room, going around the players like, "You were brilliant. You were brilliant. You weren't a car crash. You were brilliant."
Brains, why not, mate? That could be the new coaching philosophy. Let's speak to Stel and see what Stel thinks about that coaching method.
Absolutely brilliant. But his in-game management changing it as well, because on the hour you've got your two goal scorers in Bergwijn and Lucas. He takes them off, brings on who did he bring on? He brought on Son, and he brought on another Winks.
Yeah.
And a lot of, and if it doesn't work out, if we concede or don't go on to win, he might come under a lot of criticism, wouldn't he, for doing that change? But what did you make of it? Changes formation, shores things up, and we see the game out.
This is what elite managers do. They literally make these decisions because they can see how the game is going and how refreshing. I'm here with a Man U fan, Fabian. I'm with Rez from Chelsea Spurs, and obviously I'm with Kim. And we're all saying it that it's so refreshing to see us making substitutions first. It's so refreshing to be proactive rather than reactive. And this is what elite managers do. And he saw things. I mean, I saw it at one point. He was nearer the corner flag than his technical area. I don't know how he gets away with it, walking down the touchline like no one saw him. And this is what he does. And you got to remember the games I was going to with you, Simeon, when I was last year. All we saw was a waxwork of Nuno, just like that.
Yeah.
That's all we saw. And the players know that they are being monitored and watched. And just his antics on the sideline and his, you were there on Sunday, and I'm sure Ben will be able to say the atmosphere in the last couple of games has been electric.
Yeah.
Because of the performances that the boys have been putting in, but because Conte's there to rally the troops, and it's all cohesively joining together at just the right time. And it's like I said at the beginning, it's what elite managers do. They see danger or they see a problem and they fix it. And that's what he did.
And then, Brian, in January, we've got Watford, Chelsea, Morecambe, Chelsea, Arsenal, Chelsea.
Oh my
God.
That sounds beautiful.
Plus, we could even throw in a Brighton and a Burnley in there as well. How's your heart going to? How are you going to take it?
I was praying for Arsenal in the semi-finals. I really was. but Chelsea will do. Listen, the month that on the pitch he looks great. I'm not going to go down an avenue that could take a very long time to go down. When you mentioned January, I thought you were going another way. But again, we're not going to speak about him on positive nights for Spurs. Yeah, it's looking very, very good. And the great thing now is, I wouldn't say we've got great strength in depth, but we've seen that these players are trying to earn the trust back, and they're looking like they're eager and they want to play. They're not here now just to be the bad attitudes and collect the paychecks or whatever. It's looking very, very promising.
Okay, awesome, Brian. And also, as always, before we go, just want to make sure you send all our love to Bob and make sure you know that we're supporting him and we're always thinking about him and hope he gets through this. So, yeah, just want to put that message out there.
Yeah, major love to Bob.
Of course. I mean, as we said, guys, I said it. I don't know what happened when I was on the pump up. I think the internet went down, whatever it did. Kim and I said that obviously, when there's no news coming out, just take it the hashtag that Kim is using, kind of thing, and the update is there is no update. So if you hear nothing, he's just exactly where he is from yesterday or today. And when we last spoke, just in case people didn't hear it this evening, he's still the same. He's on 45% dependency on the oxygen, which is a lot better than the 60 he went in on, the 80 that it shot up to, and I think above. And now he's down to 45. They're saying, I think it was yesterday, they normally rotate him throughout the day so he can relieve some pressure off his lungs. Yesterday, they felt they didn't need the need to do that. So it seems like things are working. But what they keep saying to Kim as well is we have to manage the expectations. He's trending in the right direction and stable, but this by no ways means he's out the woods yet. There's still a long way to go. But the good thing is he is fighting. And like you said, as I say again, and you know where I'm going, when they were taking him down to put him on the ventilator and putting him in the self-induced coma, as Kim said, he screamed out the biggest, "Fuck COVID, we're yids." So, so properly involved, he is fighting just like the boys are, just like everyone else is. So he's a fighter, is that one, and hopefully very, very soon we will all see him on streams again.
Need to get that on a t-shirt. All right, Brian. Nice to see you.
I will see you in the studio on Friday, Tim.
Looking forward, mate.
Nice one, Brian.
I cannot wait, my brother. And Brains, I'll see you on Boxing Day.
Yeah, very sure.
All right,
good day,
brother,
good time.
I'll see you later on, guys. As
Nice one, Brian.
Leave me out. Get well, Bob.
Get well, Bob. Get well, Bob. That's a good ending.
Bob.
Always good to see Brian Daigle in the studio. And next up, we've got Cody back. Let's get Cody in.
There he is.
Yes, that beard is growing back very nicely. It's getting there. Still a long way to go. But
he's semi-recognizable.
Yeah, just about. I can just about see an outline of how he used to be. If you're on the street, I might be able to recognize you now, I think.
You know, this is the whole idea behind growing the beard, is that whenever I want to commit a heinous crime, I can just completely, like, who is that guy? You know, like.
Brilliant. Cody, good to see you, my friend. And look, the West Ham, we got through it just about 2-1. What did you make of the performance in general, and who stood out for you in particular?
Well, I really thought that aside from about a 5-minute lapse of concentration in the first half, we were playing what seemed to be an extension of the strategy and execution of the Liverpool game. We were in complete control of the game. We looked very confident in possession. And Conte has, I mean, you tell me one player at Tottenham Hotspur that Conte hasn't appeared to give more confidence, at the very least. Everyone, you know, he's, you know,
even
like
him.
Well, okay, he's not a car crash, but he's a functioning Seat.
He played better than than before.
Well,
he's a functioning Ford Escort.
He didn't cost us the game. That's pretty good.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'm really starting to believe that Antonio Conte is an absolute sorcerer, because there's things happening at Tottenham Hotspur that are not supposed to be happening. You know, like Ariane, who was on a couple of guests ago, he's been waiting 8 years to have his moment. And John Cooper is probably reading Conte's Lucas Moura comments and having a little special moment with himself. You know what I mean? Like,
Special moment, you can say he's having a wank.
He's John Cooper's having a wank at that comment, that's for sure. But But then in the second half, like I feel like we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit, and we were giving up a lot of possession, and you could see our shape. We were still maintaining our shape, but we were just kind of shrinking, and
You think they were gassing in that moment? They were kind of starting to blow like a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, we were just kind of inviting that pressure. We were doing so much better. Like one thing Conte's done is he really has improved us against the press, because we're playing out from the back, and you've got our midfielders rather than playing sideways passes, it's either back to the center back or forward. And it's really like you could see in the first half, West Ham's press, they were huffing and puffing, and they weren't able to get through to us. And it was the same thing against Liverpool. And then we just didn't have enough of the ball in the second half. But overall, what can you say? We're into the semifinals. I think I actually feel like Chelsea is a good matchup for us. I know that they're probably them and Liverpool are the two best teams remaining in the competition, but I would rather play Chelsea in the semifinal than in the final. Because they might have their attention divided with league fixtures. And also, don't underestimate the Conte versus Chelsea effect. Conte is going to be licking his chops to take a shot at Abramovich and the Chelsea Blues. It's probably something that he's been fantasizing about for some time since his acrimonious exit from the club. So I actually think Chelsea is a good fit. I'm not sure if the two legs are going to happen, but you know what? We're going to have to beat good teams to win a trophy. We always are. You're always going to come up against one of the big four. So it's time to take care of business.
We've also shown that against Chelsea at the right, even that first half this season with Nuno in charge, the right press, the right mentality on the ball, we shut them out. We completely closed them out for a whole half. Mm-hmm. Then we went, shit hit the fan. But with Conte's systems, if things are looking like they're not working, like today I was thinking in the first half, if there was a negative, it was that the two midfielders, just having the double pivot left too much space between them, and then that was a way that they could overrun us. Conte sees that, he makes the change. Let's go to 3. Immediately closes it down. Everything becomes more calm.
He's not afraid to take off two goal scorers. And
exactly. That takes some balls to be able to, you've got a guy who's got a goal and assist, and he looks like he's flying, and Lucas Moura, who's doing really well. It's like, take him off. He knows if that doesn't go well, say that result doesn't go our way, people are probably going to look at that and go, why did you take those two off? But no, he's like, no, don't worry about that. I'm confident. Change the system now, close it down, see the game out.
What do you think of that change then on the hour, Cody? It was an interesting one, wasn't it?
It was the two players that I wanted to come on. I was thinking this game is calling for a little bit of pace up front, a little bit more energy, and that's what Heung-min Son can bring. And we need to gain a foothold in the midfield. I was a little bit surprised to see Lucas go off, but I think we're going to end up, depending on what we do in the January transfer window, I think we're going to slowly but surely switch to the 3-5-2 just to give us that extra creativity, and we can play that that Kane and Son up top. It's just a question of whether or not both of them are available for some of these games, because with the amount of games that we have to make up here, and we're still in the FA Cup, we're still in the League Cup, there's going to be a lot of fixture congestion here in the next 3 months. So hopefully part of Conte's sorcery is that he has cast a spell over the eyes of Daniel Levy, and he's saying, you will open your wallet, you will spend money in January, you will back me with all the players that I want, because
so you think it's a little bit of incentive now that we're in a semi-final. He's on a 7-game winning streak. Is it 7 or 8? 7 or 8?
We didn't win on Sunday, but we're unbeaten. Yeah.
Good things are happening because we're trusting in Conte. Do you think that he now has, the kind of what you need to turn around and Levy and say, look, everything's going well. Don't be a cunt. Don't be a cunt here. Trust in what we're trying to build.
You know what? I don't care how you get it done. If you have to sell players to generate the funds to go out and get the pieces necessary, Vlahovic is a name that's being tossed around quite a bit, and for me, it's like we should be buying as many players as we can that are of high quality while Conte is here, because we don't know how long he's going to be here.
Yeah.
And that's a huge aspect of employing a manager of Conte's, esteem, is that players look at that and they say, I want to go play for that guy. Look at how many players have kind of turned their seasons around just in the 6 weeks or 7 weeks since Conte has arrived. Forget the fact that we're in a cup final. Forget the fact that we're still in the FA Cup. He has shown enough in the games that we've played to say, I mean, none of the fans would have questioned his class, but he's shown us enough. Like, this is honestly the first time that I can say in about 2 years that I recognize Tottenham Hotspur, that we're not just hoofing it long and playing defense and playing without confidence and looking like we don't know how to handle the football,
Actually playing football. Do you know what the good thing about Conte is? Well, I was thinking about this the other day. He's actually a coach. So you get managers who just kind of stand up and cross their arms on the pitch and they're kind of playing that paint by number manager role, like what they feel they have to do. He's a coach. You can see he takes pride in taking players in, speaking to them. He wants to see them individually. Give me what you need to give me in training. Give me the extra energy, then give it on the pitch. Like, I need to see your energy from training transfer onto the pitch. That takes a coach. That takes the understanding of a former player to be a coach and to get that out of players. That's what I'm seeing. If I'm honest, we never had it with Nuno, of course. We never had it with Mourinho. I'm sorry, we just didn't.
He was more just like tactically focused. He wasn't focused on improving anyone.
Yeah.
That was it with him. But Conte, that's what his MO is, and we've seen it already in the short space of time how he's improved players, and that's what gets me excited for the future and what level some of these players can maybe reach that we haven't seen yet.
You make a great point as well, Cody, like about we also have to look at these markets as like thinking about the future, is like if say Conte stays for 2 seasons, like we have to pick up great players moving forward. We can't always keep the same players around forever and think they're always going to stay. We need to invest. We need to have. We look at our wings right now. We've got. If Cess is out, we've got one player now who has to play every game. You can't go through a season like that. You look on our right-hand side, and you'd probably go, neither of them are really top-level wing-backs. So we need players there. We need players. If tonight, I think Davies is playing great. He's probably one of the first names on the team sheet every week now. Dyer shows he's got a mistake in him. Sanchez has got a mistake in him. Romero, when he comes back, fine. But then we've had in the season so far, we've had times where we had 2-3 players, 2-3 defenders out, and we were like, what do we do now? We still didn't give Joe Rodon a game, we're trying to go through a whole season. You can't just be thinking about this season. You got to bring players in to make your squad tough for next season's European leagues, for next season's competitions, for next season's title. I want Spurs to be in a position next season to go for the title. We're struggling to even believe we can win a league trophy, a league cup. We can win this.
Yeah, and I think, look, it's for me, it's about quality over quantity. We can't be taking £70 million and blowing it on 3 players that are going to either be a project or a potential future star. Now is the time for us to buy world-class players to come into the starting 11. And some of the players who are in the starting 11 right now need to become rotation pieces, and some of the current rotation pieces, they need to be sold. That's all there is to it,
Yeah. Tough decisions to make. I fully agree with that.
But maybe with this form, with a lot of these players, there'll be more interest. So that'll be positive, and maybe there'll be offers that they'll come in, and we can think either we can take the offer and rebuild, or if we keep them, they can play to a better level than they're playing before.
I would say be careful about obviously we know that it's a shopping window season now. Like these games are very much players fighting for their life. Their agents are on them to get them to fight for their lives. Obviously, there's more incentive. This is their careers. This is their livelihood to play well. So you expect them to have a burst right now of energy to play good now. But also you have to consider some of these players are kind of like not the youngest. They've been here for a long time. If we get the chance to bring in players like Grilic or, like Vlahovic, players who can come in and they're going to make your club 50, 60 million when you sell them on. You know, like we need to be looking at that. You know, we need to be bringing in big, really class talents who we can then sell on in 5 years' time. If we keep sticking with the players that we have now, even though, you know, Dele's he's coming back into form, but is Dele the answer for the next 4 or 5 seasons? Probably not. You know, and that's something to consider as well.
Yeah. I mean, look, if we've got limited funds to spend in January, this is what I want to see. Bring in one game-changing player, one piece that Conte can put in the center of the pitch. Whether it's a quality center back or if it's Dusan Vlahovic, buy quality over quantity. We can deal with the rest in the summer. Go from there.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Cody. Great to speak to you as always. Great call as always, and we'll speak to you very, very soon. Good to see you, mate.
All right. Glory, glory. Merry Christmas.
Glory, glory.
Yeah, Merry
Have a good Christmas,
Dude.
mate. All right, that was Cody Mack doing
Always
a great
good stuff
job.
from Cody Mack.
Always good, always good.
Always good stuff.
Cody Mack. And the ever-improving studio of Will Stewart. Let's get him on. Every single time you come on, there's something added to that studio, mate. It's looking absolutely fire at the moment.
What's been added?
Well, are you working,
I don't know, I just feel
are
so-
you working for ESPN? What the fuck is going on there?
Do I work? No, I don't work for ESPN. Why are you guys looking so blue?
Looking blue.
Just
Good to
one
see
guy.
you, Will. How you
See
been,
you guys
man?
too. I'm doing well. Doing well.
He's got 2 camera shot. Bloody hell.
Jesus.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. That's brilliant.
Someone's spending on their studio setup.
You see, you're having a good Christmas, I see.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't watch my show.
Well, talk
But
to
no,
me,
I
Will.
do have something to say. I do
Yeah,
now have
please.
the best beard in North America.
Yeah, I think it's confirmed now. I
yeah,
mean, give it a
confirmed.
few weeks and you might have some more competition, but time will tell. But at the moment, I mean, there's only one winner, Will, I have to say.
Yeah, no, there's no competition. Cody Mack.
Just make sure you
can't handle it.
don't do any of those tweets that Cody did. I have to retweet it, and then you're going to have to shave your beard. So
Well, I actually shaved my beard about a month before Cody did. We actually had a bet
that was it.
in a Carabao Cup match. It was when we played Wolves.
And you lost.
We lost. It wasn't about who was winning. It was about we at the beginning of the season we were talking about man for man depth wise, which squad was more competitive over the whole 25 man, or more balanced over the whole 25 man thing, and that led into the game.
Between
which I
Tottenham
want,
and who? Between Tottenham and who?
Tottenham and Wolves. Yeah,
And you said Wolves.
yeah, over the whole.
How's that
25
looking
man
now?
squad.
How's that looking now?
Well, now we have Conte, right? This is when we had Nuno. So
Yeah,
a little
correct.
bit different.
Correct. Is it?
But,
It's the manager made the big difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
Yeah, and talk to me about the game tonight. How impressed were you with his in-game management and the way we saw out the game, and maybe how he's got players like Bergwijn, performing all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, Bergwijn, I think, looked like Bergwijn. I think his tenacity in front of the goal, though, some of his dribbling in the box, I hadn't seen from him before.
Yeah.
Some of his hold-up play. And it's maybe because we haven't really kind of seen him in that forward role, more of a kind of like when we saw him playing under Jose, he played far more defensively, right? Almost kind of like a defensive winger-ish, right? Like he wasn't getting into the box. He was more playing balls in, tracking back, defending. Whereas tonight we kind of saw him in a different role that maybe, benefits him a lot more.
Yeah, he was getting a lot more central positions. And how crucial was it for today? Son on the bench, who's a player we rely very heavily for goals, and Lucas and Bergwijn come in. They both get on the score sheet, and maybe it kind of gives the indication that they could relieve the pressure a bit on Son and Kane. And when we're talking about who can get the goals in this squad.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's actually what that's been my biggest gripe this entire season, is that we didn't have enough other people in the team scoring goals, right? But last season it was Bale, Son, and Kane. That was it. I mean, you had maybe one or two other people that scored 1 or 2 goals, right? But for the most part, that's what it's been, and that needs to be spread out more. Like if you look at with the exception of maybe Liverpool, but even them as well, Chelsea, it's you have like 10 people that have 6-7 goals, right? So I mean, that's something that we've really really needed, and I'm glad to see it happen.
Isn't it fascinating that, like you can look at players, you can treat players one-dimensionally, and then they're going to seem one-dimensional. Like if you play a system that forces players to be out in the wing, and you that's what you want from them, to get wide and then cut to byline, the old stereotypical winger role, then they're going to seem one-dimensional. You put them now into two kind of 10s and a kind of triangular, kind of form of attack. Like all of a sudden, they start to seem like really promising. Now all of a sudden you're not looking at like we only have Son and Kane up front. Now we've got a strike force of 4 players. But do you see him using that as a formation going forward, or that as an attack line with Bergwijn, Lucas and Kane up front? Do you see him using that a lot, or do you see him using that against maybe the kind of minnows of the league?
No, I think Conte, what Conte really wants to play, what he really relies upon, especially going against the more competitive teams, is that 3-5-2. And in fact, today when he made that switch, I thought it was tactically perfect. Right, our midfield was looking shaky. If you notice, most of the buildup was happening right there in that middle channel. There was a hole there with only 2 midfielders sitting there. And when Conte made that change, it shored it up, and West Ham's chances dropped significantly. Yeah, even their possession dropped significantly in that second half compared to the first. So,
do you think he should have, seeing that then? Do you think he should have maybe went with that formation from the start, or do you think it was the perfect thing to do? Because I think maybe, Dyer's kind of done a crazy hell pass through the centre, and he's kind of essentially lost that goal, given that goal on a plate. But there was that problem through the first half. We were given too much space in the centre of the park. They were getting chances.
Yeah, I think Conte he's very particular about what types of players play in those specific roles. So that's why he kind of jumps around. Like if you do like an old school study on Conte and his tactics, like when he first came to Chelsea, he didn't have the right people, so he kind of played a lopsided 4-4-2, which is kind of what he did with us at the beginning of the year. If you actually look at how Davies was continually running forward, if you look at heat maps from the first 3 games, he was almost playing like a left back rather than a left-sided center back. Pushing really high up the pitch. Then as the system started to form, he started playing more of a traditional 3-4-2-1, and then yesterday with Liverpool, and today playing a 3-5-2 in certain aspects. And at Inter, it was the 3-5-2 that he had the most success with.
Yeah,
he didn't have that. I don't think he had a deep lying playmaker that he really trusted, and Harry Winks just seemed to fill that position. So good on them for stepping up. So
yeah, with that 3-5-2, you need he likes his regista. He likes his kind of guy who's going to take the ball and then like crazy,
Conte,
curvy, nice little balls through.
That's maybe what Winks' role might be.
Yeah, and maybe he also goes into the market as well and looks for that specific type of player, or he relies on Winks. I don't know.
Well, I mean, even at Inter, he converted an attacking mid to a deep lying playmaker, right? Yeah. So when they played to a 3-5-2, so.
How much do we have Lloris to thank for the result today?
1,000%. My man of the match today was Hugo Lloris by far. There's no doubt about it for me.
And is that worrying though that he had to be man of the match, or was it just?
Yeah, I mean that first half, especially the second half of that first half, man, they were drilling us, drilling us. I mean every time we turned the ball over, I was just biting my fingernails. Yeah. But when we got Chelsea going forward, coming up. Hopefully we go the 2 legs with them. The only downside to that is if we get past Chelsea, we could see another Tottenham Liverpool final, and those aren't very interesting.
Yeah, you want another one? What about
historically?
So you say you're completely dismissing Arsenal getting to the final?
Oh yeah, Arsenal.
What about an Arsenal Tottenham final? Would you
I'd love that.
Enjoy that?
That would be amazing.
You like it? You'd like it?
Best case scenario, yeah.
I'd love that.
Would you be able to enjoy that day? Would you not be a nervous wreck for that game day?
No, I wouldn't be a nervous wreck, man. I'd be trying to figure out how to get over there for that one. That would be one for the things. But I mean, if I look into my into the matrix here, and I don't see Arsenal getting through. So.
All right, so we're not getting through. Amazing. Good to know. Anything else you see there? Are we signing anyone in January?
No, Daniel Levy's kind of one of those anomalies in the Matrix. It's blotted out. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Amazing. Thanks for absolutely brilliant, Will. Good to see
All right,
you
guys.
as
Merry
always, mate.
Christmas, and we'll see you
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
Yeah,
next
Merry
time.
Christmas, Dave.
Fantastic to see you, Will. And we'll
All right,
speak
take
to
it
you
easy.
soon.
Take
Nice
care.
one.
What a legend.
We got a little peek into the Matrix. Absolutely fantastic. Didn't think I'd be saying that in this show. But you never know on the post-match fan show. Weird and wonderful things can happen. Let's get on. Mikey. Is he ready? Yeah, let's get him on. How you doing, Mikey? You seem to be eating. I didn't want to disturb you.
Mickey, you're
No, it's
never
all
ready.
good.
You're,
It's all
you're
good.
never
How-
ready for us. You're
how are
never
you
ready
doing?
for us.
Yeah, I'm all good. Sorry, I was just tucking in some festive Pringles.
You can look any second. You can come on, Mikey. You got to be ready.
I'm ready. How was the game for you guys? First of all,
I thought look, West Ham, especially in the first half, they had way too many chances. We were way too open. But some of the football we played, even in the second half, we were moving through West Ham very easily and very much, very convincingly, I would say. And we played some really good stuff. We were getting the fullbacks high. We were creating some havoc, I thought, but I think when he made that change on the hour, it was definitely just to see out the game. I think it was just make sure we're not conceding those stupid chances we were conceding or conceding as many set pieces. And I think it was a good bit of game management from Conte. Because I thought in the first half, we were open, but we did play a lot of good football, I felt.
I thought that the football we played was good, but there was a lot more. How do I say it? Obviously, against Liverpool, you have to be efficient with possession. That's a given. I think today we weren't as efficient as we could have been. I think there was some cheap ball. There was some cheap giving of the ball away in midfield that I think that's maybe due to Skip and Højbjerg. They're coming back. Højbjerg only started training a couple of days ago. Skip didn't feature against Liverpool. I think our midfield today, like I said I've said since last week that the combating Rice and Souček is going to be probably the biggest challenge we have to face today, because I knew that Antonio would be out, and I knew that we wouldn't be able to. I didn't anticipate them playing a 5-back. That I didn't see that in the cards. As what was his name? Mystic Will would say. I didn't see them playing 5-back, so that gave us an extra layer to break down. But I think our midfield got overrun today, and it was only when he brought on Winks as that 3-man midfield that we were able to combat Rice and Souček. So I think good positives, definitely. We took our chances. We were very clinical tonight, whereas against Liverpool we were wasteful, to say the least. But at least there's no controversial Harry Kane sending off issues this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past West Ham to find something to complain about. But so that substitution on the hour, obviously it was necessary, but he took off Lucas and Bergwijn, both goal scorers. First of all, what did you make out of our performances, and what did you make out of the change that Conte made? It was a bold move at the time.
I think it's a masterstroke because it was the system he saw that worked against Liverpool. Now, I know Liverpool are a different kettle of fish to West Ham, but West Ham haven't been in the best form. I think there were only 2 wins out of 7, albeit they were against Liverpool and Chelsea, both 3-2s. But it's nice because it's nice for our fortunes to go up again against West Ham, because we've lost the last 2, including the one in the league earlier this season. So it's nice to get a win against them. But I do think the midfield was overrun slightly. We were, I wouldn't say lucky to win. I think we did deserve to win on the night. But Lloris certainly kept us in it, and I think that's partially down to. Eric Dyer didn't have a stellar game. He was good. He was good as he was, but he got spun to the shops and back for Bowen's goal.
Yeah.
So
And he gave them that chance as well.
it was his poor pass that got us out in the first place. But I think overall, the team as a unit, I was watching the highlights with my girlfriend, and she said, "Look at how because she loves football as well." She said, "Look how structured."
You went in there then.
Look how. Yes, I've got one of the few. No, she's really into it. Into football. Into football, I mean. But I was.
I love that. She's really into it.
Yeah, she's so
into football.
I'm so sorry. I feel like every guest has been having a laugh on it. No.
That's all good.
Exactly. That's what the post-match fan show's for. Winding down after a victory, celebration.
Yeah. So, what I was saying is she was commented that the defense looked very structured, looked very organized, and I pointed out the midfield is the area because we played a two-man midfield again. We reverted from the 3 we played against Liverpool, but I think against a really top-class opposition, that 5-3-2 formation where you sacrifice a Lucas, where you can afford to play a front 3 of Lucas, Son, and Kane against the, I wouldn't say lesser, but if you're coming up against a team like a Chelsea, I think Conte has to revert back to that 5-3-2 where we have maybe Skip Højbjerg and Ali, or Skip Højbjerg or Winks, and depending on how they play, maybe an Ali who I know he's Dele, I should say, prefers to be called Dele. I don't think he's an amazing player, not who he used to be, but I think he can still do a job with Son and Kane up front. I know there's been a lot of talk recently that it's like, you don't put all of the burden of goal scoring, creating chances on one like two players. But I think in the big games, playing Son and Kane as a 2 with the 3 midfield to combat, like, because you have Chelsea's midfield is arguably the best part of their team. They usually play Mount, they have Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho, so it's going to be, and I think today it showed that playing a 2-man midfield against Rice, Souček, and then you had Bowen, Fornals, and I cannot remember who played.
Ben Rama came on.
Yeah, Ben Rama came on.
Ben Rama and Yarmolenko came on, but I can't remember who started. But
did you think that what I thought was good about that change was that he kind of, his experience tells you like any minute they were about to bring on some like more legs and more attacking threat, like Fornals, they were going to bring on Ben Rama, yeah, Yarmolenko to come on, like, so Conte had to get, like, at that very point, Conte had to get a grip on the game. He had to get the team to get into formation, and at that point he was deciding, he was making a clear choice to go, we're now going to control the space and try to control this game. In the past, we've tried to do that with Nuno. We've tried to do that at times. Maybe at the very start of the season we did it, like, fresh first game of the season or whatever. But we've not really been able to do that. Do you think we did that well enough tonight? Where we controlled the spaces well enough and saw a pretty difficult game?
Again, I've got to hand it to the man himself. Conte made the difference today. Our defensive resilience was put on full show today. I know that West Ham definitely created their chances, but the commentator, because like I said, I listened to the game on 5 Live. The commentator literally said, I don't think I've seen West Ham create a clear goal-scoring opportunity today right until the very last Craig Dawson header when he should have scored, or when Craig Dawson had a header and it went under. Like, the Bowen opportunity, that was more like a half chance because it gambled on Eric Dyer making the mistake he did. Yeah, I think our midfield steal with the fresh legs of Højbjerg and Skip there, on a normal day, they may have controlled the midfield a bit more, but because of their lack of fitness thereof, I think it was a little bit of a big ask to have a 2-man midfield versus Rice and Souček. But it worked. Conte's made a little bit of a gamble there, and it's worked. We've got the win, regardless of the performance. A win's a win. You can obviously the performances matter for the next game, but first and foremost, a win is a win. Against West Ham, I won't say no because, like I said, my first game in the new stadium was when Antonio scored and he celebrated right in front of me, and they won 1-0. Our first loss at the new stadium was when I went the first time, so I have particular hatred over West Ham for that. Like I always say, West Ham, Chelsea and Arsenal are the big 3 rivalries, but I always put West Ham second above Chelsea just for that personal experience because I can't stand them, and I often make jokes with my friends that I don't think anyone in the Premier League particularly likes West Ham.
No,
the
no
form
one
was.
does.
No, definitely not. But talking
It's
about
stench.
Chelsea,
They're a plague on the league.
definitely
Should all be exterminated. Have I gone too far?
possibly. But Mikey, talking about Chelsea semi-finals, we've got Chelsea in the semi-finals. What's your reaction to that?
I mistook the semi-finals as only being one leg, but I now know that they're actually two legs.
It could change still, but at the moment it's two legs. Yeah.
We don't get results at Stamford Bridge like that. That's a theme. We haven't. The only time we have one was against Conte in his second season after he won
Yeah.
the
Haha. Then
3-1.
this is the key. This is the key.
the
Conte
3-1.
is the man.
Yeah, but
Big.
don't forget, Ericsson scored an absolute blinder, and Ali was on his day that day. So you've got
Yeah,
to
that's true.
take that into consideration. But
Yeah.
But
you also have to take into consideration that we'll have the world's best front three up front with Son, Kane, and Vlahovic.
You think Vlahovic? You know what? If we end up getting that man in, I can genuinely see Conte playing Kane and Vlahovic up front and putting Son in the hole.
That'd be unbelievable.
I can genuinely see him
That
doing
would be
that
interesting.
because I know Vlahovic has got more pace than Kane. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
big time. Yeah.
So if you see Kane dropping deep, it's almost like a switch of positions. Kane will be starting up front, but he always, as inevitably, he'll be given the license to drop deep and then feed those balls through. Son running from deep and Vlahovic on the shoulder.
You could turn Kane into like a world class number 10 who just like literally fills that Ericsson role, but it's probably a bit of fantasy land. Let's be honest, we probably won't get him, but we can dream.
I mean, no, because I haven't seen a club as heavily linked with Vlahovic as I have Tottenham. Like,
yeah, it doesn't seem to go away, but that could be for many different reasons, though. Like driving his fee up, and we could be the stepping stone being used to kind of drive other players.
It's happened a million times with Tottenham, and he's only got 18 months left, doesn't he? So there's always going to be talk.
And we've increasingly recurrently expressed our flavor for him. Like Conte's said he likes him. He's his number one guy, and we've put interest in multiple times. So we could be getting used here. That's one thing to think about. But I still dream of that we get him. It's about time Spurs have some world-beating players. Obviously we have some, but that we bring in some more world beaters.
I think it's a
Mikey's
big.
quoting me. Mikey's quoting me.
No, I
Repeat that, Brains. What were you saying?
I think it's
The Spurs bring in world-class players. Brains.
What's the solution to Tottenham's problems? Get better players. Sack Daniel Levy.
Yep.
I think that our chances again. You would obviously, on their day, Arsenal are the weakest of the three. Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal in that order. You'd have to say on their day. You'd rather face Arsenal than the other two. And I'm kind of glad that we're not facing them in a semi because it sets up the prospect of a final against them.
Yeah, maybe Liverpool slip.
I mean, they did against us, and we almost capitalised. So, I mean, to be fair, Arsenal aren't. I don't want to. This isn't about Arsenal. It's about Tottenham. I think Tottenham.
No, but if you feel like you have to diss them, fire ahead.
No, I like to think of myself as a fair football fan while still hating Arsenal. So, besides, this is We Are Tottenham TV, not Arsenal Fan TV, anyway.
Exactly.
So I think I'm very excited for the team's chances this season. I know that it depends because we play the week beginning the 3rd and the week beginning the 10th, and that would be an incredible because we play Watford on New Year's Day, followed by Chelsea, then Morecambe, then Chelsea, then Arsenal. So that's going to be. That run of games is so contrasting. I have a feeling Conte is just not even going to take any of the starting 11 because he'll need them for the Chelsea game. So expect to see Vlahovic's debut against Morecambe.
Yeah,
I genuinely think that I remember I've been seeing them. They want an attacking right wing. They want an attacking right winger and a new right back. So I think our chances in January are going to be to bolster our defense. But I don't know, Adama Traore is available. Adama Traore, I still think it would be he did what he did for Raul Jimenez that season. If you've got someone up the next level like Harry Kane, if he just runs and crosses it in, we're in business. So yeah, that's my
Mikey,
take, guys.
Answer the big question that everyone no doubt wants to know in the chat. Is that student dorm that you're living in?
It was. I'm actually home for Christmas. It's funny.
You've made your bedroom look like your student dorm.
This is my kitchen because my mum's asleep. My mum's asleep upstairs, so I'm kind of down here. No, funny. No one's ever asked me if I was in my uni dorm when I was actually sitting in it. And the one time I come on while I'm at home, people go, is he in a uni dorm? So it's nice to know that my kitchen looks more like my uni dorm than my uni dorm does.
Don't let your mum know we said that. I don't want to cause any angry.
She's a Newcastle fan anyway. I get Tottenham from my dad.
All right, we're gonna end this. Mikey, thanks for coming on.
No, I'll see you guys. I kind of have to go anyway. I've got stuff I need to do, but it's been really good chatting to you guys.
Nice one. Bring your girlfriend next time.
I'll try.
Nice one, Mikey. Good to see you, mate.
Bye.
Take care, dude. Peace out.
What a laugh. That's been straight in there. The Irish hotspot. If he ain't pumped up enough, here he is. Fresh from the pump up, Mr. David Harris. How are we doing?
I'm absolutely buzzing. I've got the ham in the oven there. Can't wait to tuck into it tonight. Absolutely loving it. Into the semi-finals like I predicted.
Exactly. Come on, David. Come on. We put those hammers to bed tonight, didn't we? Pop those bubbles.
No, look, it's about time. Look, for months we've had to sit here listening to every football fan disrespect our club. But since Conte has come in, especially over this last couple of 3-4 days, our players have put respect back on the badge. And, we can walk around obnoxious. At the end of the day, we started with Liverpool. Now we're just going to get the respect back around London and then take it all across England around the Premier League. I can't wait. Tottenham are fucking back and Conte is...
Put some respect on our name! That's what it is. Yeah, you're looking pretty sexy with the
Santa.
The Santa hat.
I wore it for you, Brains. Look, it's all about spending a bit of joy, Tottenham are back. Christmas is in a couple of days. I'm in a great mood. I'm absolutely loving life.
Buzzing in it. Like, how are you feeling about what? Like seven games unbeaten? Fucking loving
7 games. 6 or 7 now, yeah. Geez, I didn't take you for a stats man. I'm absolutely loving them. You
as long as it pisses off Stell, I'll be stats man. I'll be stat man, Gav.
No, but honestly, look, Conte has brought stability to this team. We now have 2 systems that we can use, that we can switch in between games. That's something that you can clearly see. It's evident that he's working with them on the training ground. And, bringing it to this Tottenham team, the way that he can do it during games. Because I've seen managers do it before, and you kind of look at it and you're like, well, they definitely haven't worked on that on the training ground. But today, you can definitely tell, switching from one system to the other, that it has been worked on, and that you could see this happening a lot more, especially just to kind of kill the game. At the moment, you've done it. West Ham are on the ball for about 4 or 5, maybe 10 minutes. Kind of building a bit of pressure. He changed up the midfield, and we kept ball for about 5-10 minutes and kind of killed the momentum out of the game in the second half. And it's great to see a manager come to Tottenham with a plan B if plan A doesn't work.
Do you know what, David, that I saw? The recurring theme of the last 2 games, which is really like for me, one of the biggest positives to take out, is that we played 2 good teams, and they had loads of chances, but our chances were cleaner. The setups to the chances were cleaner. We played good football to get the chances. It wasn't like them getting around the box and then having to cross in or just having a Hail Mary of a shot. Even Liverpool were kind of lucky the way some of their chances broke to them, to get that goal, ball hitting off an arm, and then, you know what I mean? Like, we actually played really well, like really top class stuff. And then we should Son should have had that 3rd goal there. That was such a beautiful way that we played. Ben Davies making the overlap and run. The ball should go to him. He just passes it in. Boom, 3rd goal. We're playing really slick football. Even though sometimes he's putting on some really nice defensive formations, we're shoring up the games at times, but we're playing slick all of a sudden. You notice that?
Yeah, but you know why that is? You look at our kilometers covered. I think Sky Sports brought it up today. We've gone from 20th to 1st. 20th under Nuno to 1st in Conte, and that has a lot to do with it, because Brains, you've played the game. You know yourself. You can be a lazy player, or you can be a player that is constantly on the move, constantly making angles to receive the pass. And that's what Conte has drilled into this team. If you look at it, he creates triangles all over the pitch, no matter where we're moving to. They try to create triangles. And what that does is it means you have two options. Three in a sense, because you can't go long if you wanted to, but you have two options there, which means you can play through players. And if teams are not going to press you in packs, which they very rarely will, you can just play around them. So when they do press you suck them in and you play around them, and you ultimately draw the opposition out of position before you've even got to the final third. And that's why you're seeing us create so much clean and clear-cut chances in the final third, because we've already done the hard build-up, already done the hard yards, and the triangles are just pulling the opposition out of position. But not only that, it's even I've noticed when if Harry Kane drops or Harry Kane pulls out to the right-hand side to get involved, some will fill the space in behind in the middle. Yeah. You'll also either have Ben Davies or Højbjerg, I've seen at times, fill that space. Reguilon coming in at the back post. So it's all these overloads as well. And definitely the fitness coach has had a huge effect on this, because, look, we've seen under Jose before where we've just sat back. When we've gone 1-0 up or we've gone up in the game, we've sat back, we've let the other team have the possession. But we actually tried to get on the ball. We wanted the possession. But it's also great to have the passion back, though, lads. The passion, the obnoxiousness going into games where you're like, we'll Palace next week. Yeah, we'll steamroll them. You know what I mean? It's great to have that confidence back. Something that we've been missing since Pochettino. Everyone needs to get behind Conte. I hear people talking about transfers and stuff like that. Just go and get what Conte wants. Whatever Conte needs, give to the man. Honestly, this season we'll probably finish top 4. You might be in a Carabao Cup final. You might be in an FA Cup final. I do believe that. And then next season, with the right transfer market, we can definitely challenge. Conte is bringing great things to this football club. Everything he's doing, from working on the training pitch, having everyone pushing the same way. Like the improvement we've seen from players, like even Bergwijn stepped in today. Hasn't really been given a chance under Conte. Steps in, okay, first 10, 15 minutes, a bit loose. Some of his touches were sloppy. But ultimately, he came out of the game today with a goal and assist.
Yeah, I was watching him closely. I was noticing, that was a loose pass, and all of a sudden he gets into a position where you don't really see him that much in that kind of like either side of the kind of box, in a diagonal run directly into goal, and he seemed to be like really confident. It was like when he got the first cool little move, when he got that down, it was like, oh shit, like his confidence seems to be like, in a momentum here. It's like exponentially growing. And then next thing you know, he's like holding off players in the box, doing center forward jobs, holding players off, having the balls to turn and run at players. Like I've been one of his biggest haters, and I think credit where it's due. He played amazing today. Only Lloris's game-saving saves have maybe taken the man of the match. But a goal and assist, you can't ask for anything more from a player.
No, you can't. And look, when it comes to Hugo Lloris, sign that contract now. Absolutely unbelievable since this new coach has come in. I do think, again, Conte probably has identified Hugo Lloris's weaknesses, which was maybe command in his area, helping out the back from set pieces and stuff like that. And ultimately, what it has done is because under Mourinho, the likes of Eric Dyer or Sancho, who's ever playing centre-back, we often seen them drop into our own 6-yard box. And then you're seeing the midfielders drop into the penalty area. But if you look under Conte, because the defence knows Hugo Lloris is going to command that 6-yard area, which he wasn't doing before, because you've seen so many balls come across the 6-yard area being tapped in. It's not happening anymore. Hugo Lloris is commanding that. And then the defence is allowed to do their job, push up a little bit in the box. And then the midfielders are sitting around the edge of the box. So you're not really seeing teams pin us in or rotate the ball from left to right in front of us, or even getting too many shots in from distance. And if they are, it's pressured. So Hugo Lloris has had a massive impact on this team as well. Let's not understate that. 2 of them saves today, honestly, I want to replace the Mona Lisa with one of them saves, because it's out for more. It was absolutely unbelievable. It's absolutely iconic. Some great goalkeeping there by Hugo Lloris today. Deserves a lot of credit, but I also want to big up Oliver Skipp. This guy, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. He reminds me of Paul Scholes. He loves to ping a pass. He has the ability. He drives forward, but he gets stuck in.
He was so strong in tackles today. He was so strong. Yeah.
But the thing is, Brent, I started playing senior football at 16. I was stuck in centre midfield, and I was small enough compared to full-grown skinhead men, And what I learned is just lay into them. They don't want it. And that's what Skip has done. It's not easy to come up against big men like Declan Rice and Souček. It's very easy to get bounced around in there. But the way Skip just times his challenges, he's always stuck in there. And honestly, you would think Skip looked like the England player, not boiling the bag Declan Rice.
And tell me about Harry Winks. Had a half an hour today. Another good performance. What's your thoughts on him in the moment?
No, look, I want to big him up today because let's be honest. I mean, if I was Harry Winks, I probably would have had a bit of a strap about me today being dropped after putting in such a great performance against Liverpool. But whatever it is, Conte must have put an arm around him and said, "Look, I have a crucial role for you. You know what I mean? I need you to come off the bench and then set the tempo once we're winning the game." And that's exactly what Harry Winks done. He came in, he got on, few slick passes, got stuck in, and he was running about. But look, this is all we wanted. I mean, realistically, we shouldn't be sitting here praising it because that's what we should expect from our players regardless. That should be the minimum level, is effort, running around, being able to do the basics, which is passing the ball. But credit where credit due. You know, he's had a rough time, mainly by me. I mean, honestly, I'm probably a hater.
Yeah,
same. But look, he's had a tough time. Things haven't gone his way. He put in a great shift against Liverpool, and he came on and really helped out today in the win. He could have sulked, and he didn't. And it shows a good mentality.
It's got a lot to do. That's what I was saying about my point about coaching. Like, you know your role, and then a manager comes, Poch goes, another manager comes in. Sometimes your role gets a little bit changed. Sometimes you're burned out. You say that it's that whole thing of like say one word over and over and over. You start to kind of you lose the word.
Yeah.
Same with football. Like unless you. Pre-seasons are about revitalizing your role, getting something else out of it. Your coach has to get you to see something else out of it. Every season that comes, Winks should have been growing as a more of a captain-like player. He wasn't. He was falling in and out of other managers. Conte's come in and been like, no, this is the type of guy you could be, and this is what your role is. Just do your role, like is specifically how you can do it. That works perfectly for me. And then all of a sudden, when you have that, then a player goes, oh man, like this is one of the greatest managers in the world, and he's seeing something in me. Maybe if I just do what I love to do, none of this stuff that got put in my mind, because of other things that have happened, scared to lose the ball, so I'm going to go sideways, scared to lose the ball in big games, so I'm going to go back. Now he's got a guy saying, don't you go forward. You're a great passer of the ball. You need a manager. You need someone to come in and define your role and give you the courage and confidence. And that's for me, like, that's a beautiful thing. See, that we're actually seeing it. We actually get to see it because, for real, I was talking to you on your show. I remember that when I was giving Winks a direct speech and I'm like slamming him. It's beautiful for me to see Winks playing great like this. Yeah. It's but it's what you want from these players. Like, if one person or two or like a whole stadium of people are thinking this stuff, this is how you prove people wrong. Just do your job,
But this is all we wanted in the first place. I mean, there's been a number of players. All we wanted was them to do their job and see what happens when they do their job. We're not as bad as people may think or as bad as we first thought once people start showing up. But look, Brains, you know as well as I do, about 9/10 of it is actual ability. But that extra 1%, what defines you from being a good player and a world-class player, and what I would say is the difference between someone like a Bruno Fernandes and a Lo Celso is having that bollocks. That bollocks to be able to stand up in the big moments, deliver, look at yourself, say, I'm the man, this is what I'm here for. Spray the passes, get stuck in, do the right thing. That 1% is unfortunately what makes you elite or ordinary. And it's the truth of the matter. That mentality, that's all
100%. 100%, like 90, I'd say 95, 96, even maybe higher, like 99% of if you think about the pure numbers of how many players play professional football, the one question that you can see when it comes to big moments, big cup finals, big tournaments, do you want it? Do you hide from the ball in those big moments, or do you want the ball all the time? And when I see
how big are your fucking balls? That's what I'm talking about.
Do you want the ball? Do you want to go and win the ball? Something I always see from Højbjerg, and it's not, maybe ability isn't his biggest thing here, is that at least he wants it. He wants it. He wants to go in and win a ball. With Winks, he's always had the ability. He's always been able to do something beautiful with the ball. But do you want it? Where are you? You're hiding. You're off the ball. You're getting pushed off the ball.
Too easily overrun. Too easily not putting enough tackles in, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Always
been a big part of Winks' problem, but he's definitely showing a different side to him. But David, Chelsea, next round. Talk to me. What are your thoughts?
No, honestly, look, why can't we beat them? Why can't we? We've got Antonio Conte. We've got everybody in the squad. It seems like pulling it in the right direction. We're playing some good football, some sexy football. Maybe getting back to the Tottenham way. The Tottenham we know. Look, it's Chelsea. They're going through a bad period, but look, they also have Champions League. Well, actually, no, it's here early January, isn't it? So they don't have Champions League. But look, screw it. It's only Chelsea anyway. Thomas Tuchel will turn into Thomas Titty. Hopefully Teeny Weeny is rolled up out front. The guy couldn't hit a barn door. Look, we're Tottenham Hotspur at the end of the day. We've got to rock up with the belief that we can do it. We have to, because if we don't, the game's already lost. But look, we were raw off in the Champions League the year we got to the final. Raw off, we ended up getting out the group stage last game. We got raw off against Man City when we drew them. Turned them over. So why can't we? We have a history of turning big teams over, and maybe not so much over Levy's era, but before that, Tottenham were always a cup team. So let's have it. We have now, same as Liverpool as of today, reached 18 League Cup finals. Well, it's about time we lift another one of these League Cups. And we beat Chelsea, we will win this because we have Liverpool's number. We have it.
You're not even entertaining a potential Arsenal North London derby final?
Oh, come on now, let's be honest. I mean, they're like the Sunderland of the last round. Let's be honest. They're here to make up the numbers. They were drawn out, but they ain't winning it. Look, let them believe it, because I like to let them believe that, and then just dash their hopes. I mean, they're having a hope against Liverpool. Liverpool might even look. The only hope they do have is if Liverpool send out their kids. But I don't know about that, because Klopp has been crying. Lately, he has the bit between his teeth, so he probably will want to demolish Arsenal. But honestly, them getting to the final, they won't. And
well, actually, come to think of it,
to be honest, right, I would actually maybe like them to get to the final. Sorry. But
no, it's all right.
I would actually maybe.
I was just thinking, isn't the African Cup of Nations in January?
Oh shit! Yeah.
So that means first of all,
January,
Salah and Mane are going to be out. Probably, but also means Mendy is going to be out for Chelsea as well. Ziyech.
That's true. Yeah.
Don't know who else for Chelsea. So could it have interesting implications? And Partey and Aubameyang out for Arsenal as well.
Oh yeah.
I thought Aubameyang was missing anyway, no?
Yeah.
Aubameyang's let me in.
Exactly. He is missing. It's true, but how will that affect things? If Liverpool don't have Salah and Mane, do you give Arsenal a chance?
That's big.
That could be good for us if Arsenal win that game then.
Do you know what, Sim? In a way, I kind of would like Arsenal to get to the final. It's kind of like put something in touch and distance, and then just as they're about to grab it, just snatch it from them. There's no better feeling than doing that. So maybe it would be nice to let Arsenal get to the final, let them have their day out, celebrate, whatever else they want to do. And then we just smash them on the biggest stage, which is the final, take the trophy, and watch them cry at Wembley. I mean, I would love nothing better, to be honest with you. But one thing I do want to say, Sim, is if we do make that final, not even if we do, when we make that final, I want to be back over hosting the watch-along.
All right. Woo! You heard it here first, and you'll definitely get an invite, that's for sure.
No,
you're definitely number one.
I've got to be. I'm Ireland's number one anyway, still, still Ireland.
No one's taken the crown yet.
No, not yet. But look, guys, I don't want to keep you. I'm afraid my brains might have a few more extra drinks and it'd be over the limit. So
you're well past.
That was a little while ago.
Yeah. Way ahead of you, mate.
Absolutely loving it. But no, look, I do want to say out there just quickly, the We Are Tottenham TV Army. I know not everybody does, but happy Christmas to people out there if you do celebrate. Hopefully you have a good festive season, a good holidays, and a good new year. Sit back, enjoy yourself. Tottenham are back. And thank you for all your support on the pre-match pump-ups. Absolutely been loving them. So just a massive thank you from me, and enjoy the festive season. Come on, you Spurs.
All right. Where was it in Conte we trust? Where was that?
Oh, well, look, I didn't even think I need to say that anymore.
Just a given now. Just a given. If you're not thinking it, then what are you watching? Exactly.
No, look, in Conte we trust. Hopefully people get the golden ticket for the Conte train. All aboard. West Ham fans, they cannot afford cranberry sauce to moisten up their turkey, so they're going to have to do it with the tears instead. Currently, right now, the wives are standing there with the tray and the turkey in the hand, and West Ham fans are crying into it. Absolutely love it. But boys, as always, absolutely brilliant show. Keep up the great work you've been doing for us Spurs fans, especially over this whole lockdown thing. It's been absolutely, magnificent and great for so many people's mental health and everything as well. But look, Tottenham are back. The good times are rolling. Come on, you Spurs.
All right.
Just.
Love it, David. As always, love the energy.
Amazing.
Thank you again for another great pump-up as well earlier today. And we look forward to another pump-up for the Palace game on Boxing Day. So we'll see you again very, very shortly.
Yeah, look, I might need a few people to get me through it on that day, to be honest with you. I'm a bit hungover, but we'll wait and see. But no matter
You'll
what,
be all right.
you know, that ex-Schooner, he's waiting for a spanking. Let's take the Eagles with us too. Well, let's finish off the bird hunting before the new year. That's Norwich and Palace. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, David.
Nice
Good to
one,
see you.
David.
Nice
Well
one as
played.
always, mate. All right. Awesome. Was that the last caller? All right, so that is another post-match fan show. Thank you, everyone, for your comments, for your likes, for your for calling in, for your opinions. It's been another great show, another win against West Ham in the quarterfinals. Yeah, Brains, I want to thank you as well for coming along again and co-hosting the show.
Absolutely a
Thank you
pleasure.
very much. Always a pleasure having you in. Looking
Yeah, it was
forward to
good
seeing
do
you
the
more
first
often.
one. Good to do one with you.
Yeah, it was great. It was great having you in.
Good times.
Hope you all enjoyed having Brains in as well. You're going to be seeing a lot more of him. But thank you, everyone, for joining us as always. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs!
Spurs.